You on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Fast-moving water heading for the nearest drain. For the second night in a row, city streets were simply unable to handle the downpour. Likewise, drivers decided it was best to proceed before waters receded. And that didn't sit well with all policemen who wanted them to go the other way.
And now people are left with the cleanup of this strong system. Take a look at this fence, completely destroyed in the Deer Creek neighborhood in Fargo. We'll go back to the mess on city streets in just a few minutes. But let's begin with the biggest threat tonight, and that was funnel clouds and reported tornadoes. Take a look at this video. This video was taken earlier this evening in the Wahpeton area, and so was this next video where you're going to see a funnel cloud in the sky. That brought strong winds and heavy rain. The latest picture was taken right off of Highway 210 outside of Wahpeton and Breckenridge. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard is out in that area, in the Richland County area now, to see what damage the tornado left behind. Callie, how's it looking out there?
Yes, hi, Mike and Andrea. I'm here on County Road 81 and south of Highway 13. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's about 7 miles southwest of Wahpeton, where a tornado touched down in one of these fields behind me. Now, this is just one of the two tornadoes that touched down in the area. The other one was 3 miles north in Breckenridge, Minnesota. Now, my photographer Michael and I drove through town today, and we didn't see any reports or damage from these tornadoes, but we did run into a mother that experienced it all firsthand.
Sun shining, all of a sudden my daughter's phone up, she goes, "Mom, there's a tornado coming." And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we were in Breckenridge, we came over here, and then all of a sudden there's funnel clouds out there, funnel clouds over here, funnel clouds over there, and just, it was really scary. So we had to have our friends come over from over there because they don't have any shelter, so everybody came to our house.
Now, this mother that we spoke with, she's originally from Kansas, and she's experienced tornadoes firsthand. And she says that if there is a tornado warning, to stay inside and to head to a room that's furthest away from the windows. Reporting live in rural Wahpeton, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
All right, Callie, thank you so much for that live report.
Looking at the sky right now, you wouldn't know there was so much trouble earlier. Let's get the latest on what's going on throughout the valley in your no-wait weather with Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
Finally, a break from the rain and the thunder and the winds. Tonight's storms have not produced a ton of hail, but right now we have some storms capable of some hail working their way through Wadena. This is another storm. One passed moments ago. Hail between 3/4 of an inch and an inch in diameter possible from that storm, but the good news is no severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. So hail from the Bluffton and Deer Creek areas through Wadena. Garden variety thunderstorms with a lot of lightning in Roseau and Marshall County, Minnesota. Elsewhere, it's very quiet for now. Your hour-by-hour forecast shows this rain is going to come back at us tomorrow from the north. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
The brunt of the storm has already passed through the FM area, which is good because this area needs a little time to dry out.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly joins us live from one area that experienced severe flooding earlier this evening. Katie, what can you tell us?
Mike, Andrea, I'm actually out on Elm Street North, where they currently have the road closed between 14th and 15th Avenues because of rising water. And by no means is this the only place that saw flooding today. There were many low-lying stretches of roadway that became impassable. This is along 1st Avenue North in Fargo. Drivers here who decided to continue should have eased up on the gas. Drivers to the south along 25th Street South between 13th Avenue and Main should have gone a different way. This vehicle needing a push after water shut it down. This officer was ignored for the most part as he tried in vain to get people to slow down and find a different route. Marissa Savalison, who lives in South Fargo, says she was driving by the West Acres Mall on 13th Avenue and couldn't believe how much water she was seeing.
Driving the water I've never seen that much water anywhere driving around town, like, ever.
She was able to make it around okay. Others were not as lucky, like this pair in a mini lake, more commonly known as the parking lot near West Acres Mall.
My buddy here, Cam, he decided when he sees a lake, he wants to drive in the lake in a parking lot.
And with no cooperation from their car's engine, the pair was left to hope that once it dried off, it would start again without lasting and unusually costly damage. We've all heard it before. If you see water on any road, you should turn around and not drive through it. Reporting live in Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
All right, Katie, thanks for that live report.
Plenty of viewers tonight sent us photos of the stormy weather where they were. For example, once the rain let out, people living in some apartments found their garages flooded. Haley Dufanief sent this photo from behind the Element Hotel off of Veterans and I-94 in Fargo. Jill Thompson Perryman had a bird's eye view, that's 1709 35th Street South in Fargo, showing drivers taking a risk driving through flooded streets. Here's a guy enjoying the high water in the streets of West Fargo on his floaty. This photo was sent in by Tori Loseth, taken at 40th Avenue and 11th Street West in Eagle Run. And this boy got creative, asking drivers to help out as they drove by Moorhead, his Moorhead Street. He was in swimming trunks, rain boots, and a Splash Me sign. A big thanks to everyone who sent us their photos. And if you'd like to see more, head to our website. Click on the photo gallery.
Meanwhile, in North Fargo, in a story you'll only see here, holes in one woman's roof that are so bad it was raining buckets inside her home. We first visited Renee Mund at the end of June when a storm blew her roof off. She says at first the holes were just letting a little water in, but more rain kept making things worse. Mund says her insurance initially visited her 4 days after the roof blew off. She was told her claim would go through in 7 to 10 days. Once the rain made her situation worse, she says she couldn't get a hold of them again.
Yeah, I was sleeping here and I had a flashlight so I could shine it over and see how deep it was getting and then get up and go empty it and do it again another half hour.
We reached out to American Modern Insurance Group. They tell us they weren't aware her situation got worse, but say they're glad we reached out to them and are working on her situation now. And take a look at this last picture Mund sent us. Thanks to tonight's rain, the roof has collapsed even further, leaving an even bigger hole.
Another Catholic church in the valley is warning of scammers after an email went out to parishioners last week, pretending to be the church priest and asking for favors. Hoping to prey on the vulnerable, scammers created email addresses last week almost identical to Father Coons. But instead of asking for prayers, these emails asked for iTunes gift cards so they could be delivered to sick children in the hospital.
And that's the hard part, is we want our people to be trusting, but there's a beautiful line in Scripture, right? We want you to be as gentle as doves, but also clever as a serpent, right? We have to be ready for this kind of thing, see through it for what it is.
Father Coons says only one person ended up buying the gift cards, but luckily didn't mail them off, saying that his staff caught the scam quickly.
If you can't do this for one child or two children, how do you plan to do that for more children in a separate building?
New reaction tonight about Fargo Schools' plan to move forward with a special education-only facility.
In an exclusive story, parents and advocates tell Valley News Team's education reporter, Veronica Marshall, they'll use a letter-writing campaign to once again get the district to reconsider.
Ashley Hofdahl's son was one of the few sent to Fargo Public Schools' special education only program at Agassiz. She says what he witnessed there changed him.
We were urged to leave the program by my child's therapist because of what he was witnessing down there as far as the restraining of students and the aggressive behavior on the side of the adults.
The Agassiz program was paused after the district faced pressure from parents and advocates. But now that Fargo Public Schools has revived the idea, parents like Hofdahl are hoping to once again change the conversation.
Right now, it feels like a very vulnerable time for families that have children with disabilities. And I think now is the time that it's to speak our truth.
They say Agassiz's failure and the district's current lack of progress when it comes to helping students with disabilities shows it isn't ready to move forward with new plans.
If you look at the resources that were provided there and you want to multiply that now and you want to put it in a separate building and you want to have more students involved in something like that, I think that's a huge concern.
We've had quite a bit of instances of seclusion and restraint in the schools themselves already, in typical schools. So I think a lot of parents worry about making it more unseen, and what will that bring?
Now, the group is starting a letter writing campaign to reach decision makers and community members to raise awareness and create more understanding.
I think when you're a parent of, especially a child with special needs, however those might look, the fight never ends. I hope that people will listen and look at it and read it with open ears and eyes, and we can come to a community census of what's best.
That was Veronica Marshall reporting. Group members say that they hope to start getting some of those letters out within the next few weeks and will target Fargo School Board members who have the final say on the matter.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
All right, we begin with a view to the north, some blue sky, a few thunder showers there in the northern valley. Things quieting down in the FM area as we head into the late night hours. And here's a look at where we still have active thunderstorms, and they're still stout. Rotation in them still weak, but it is there. There's cells mainly moving through our easternmost counties. Hubbard County, not a lot going on for you, but to your south, Wadena seeing its second storm in the last hour, and this one also capable of some hail and gusty winds as well, although there are no warnings. We still have some weaker activity westbound on Highway 10 there out near New York Mills. So Wadena may be as large as 1-inch diameter hail passing right through town at the last scans here. So that is still capable of producing that hail out there. The rest of these showers and storms right now really starting to taper off. A lot of lightning northwest Minnesota, both Roseau County and western parts of Marshall County. So we're talking basically from the Gatsky, Mavie area up towards Grigla and into the Skyme area in Roseau County. Now, these are working their way to the north. These are pushing their way off to the east. Then a zone of quiet. But look at this. More showers, storms spilling out of Canada as we are right in the center of an area of low pressure, and that's going to impact our forecast tonight and tomorrow. Temperatures are generally from near 65 in Wadena, where some cold rain and thunder is taking place. 64 Devils Lake, 68 Jamestown. In Grand Forks. Right now out at Hector, we have 70 degrees on the thermometer. The sky is clear. The wind 9 miles per hour, still from a warm southwesterly direction. Moorhead has 72 degrees. And yet more rain falling in the FM area as we showed you earlier. Our storms to the east and north continue to move in those directions, and then whoop, they come back at us from the north. So morning time showers and a few rumbles of thunder, not expected to be severe, with winds becoming northerly. The best chance of rain will be from the Red River Valley and points east to start our day. And then as we watch this go through the midday hours, we'll see the rain start to slowly move off to the east with the area of low pressure. But then what changes is the wind picks up. So temperatures in the morning start out near 60 to 65 degrees. We warm only a few degrees by the midday hour. And we'll see gusts over 25 miles per hour and maybe as high as 40 miles per hour at times through your afternoon and even into the early evening, even though we'll see some sunshine and low to mid 70s. It looks like kind of a breezy day and a breezy afternoon for sure. All of us in the 70s, maybe even a few 60s on your way home from work in our far eastern counties out there near Beltrami and Wadena counties, up near Lake of the Woods, temperatures in the mid 70s, and most of us in the Red River Valley in that same boat. Here's a look at the storm, this one from Monday's shelf working its way through Fargo, a windy storm and a very wet one, the Red River, that's coming back up the flood stage once again. All right, for Thursday, after Wednesday morning stuff, things quiet down in the 80s return. Then closing out our work week on Friday, we'll have spotty storms, and because of that, we'll cool off just a pinch. Wow, Saturday and Sunday looking like we bring in summer back. Looks like a 50% chance of spotty storms on Saturday. Sunday, not too bad, but still a little toasty. And that continues into early next week, you two.
We're going to need a few more warm days than that, drying out.
Yeah, and a few days off of storms would be very nice.
Yeah, all bundled into one. Yeah. Thanks, Sudge.
Up next on Valley News Live 10 at 10, no slowing down when it comes to the number of measles cases.